Know the risk, be aware of the dams that are around you.
With 800 dams in Pennsylvania considered to be high hazard, what is the Department of Environmental Protection doing to keep you safe? A high hazard dam means there could be a loss of life if that dam fails. After one of the country's largest dams had spillway issues in California, people are questioning the safety of dams right here in Pennsylvania.
Fox 43 finds out the status of our dams. Jackie DeTore is here now to explain.
Yeah, Evan and Allie, thousands of dams across Pennsylvania were built decades ago, and they aren't meant to last forever. So Fox 43 finds out what the DEP is doing to keep us and those dams safe. 3,400 dams. That's how many the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection regulate. In 2014, the American Society of Civil Engineers put out an infrastructure report card for the state. Those dams got a grade of C-.
There's still a need for funding, and I think that's why we got a little bit lower grade.
The chief of the dam division with the DEP, Roger Adams, says 800 dams in Pennsylvania are considered high hazard.
Meaning that if they were to fail, there would likely be a loss of life associated with that failure.
Something that was a fear on the other side of the country earlier this year. The Orville Dam spillway in California was having issues, prompting that state to give evacuation orders to tens of thousands of people. Adams says that scare on the West Coast has some people asking about the safety of dams here in Pennsylvania.
States have been getting a lot of questions. It's sort of an eye-opener.
While Adams says the dams in Pennsylvania are much smaller than the one out west, there are still concerns.
During Tropical Storm Lee in Lancaster County, we had a situation like California, but on a lot smaller scale.
He says the last time people were asked to evacuate their homes in Pennsylvania was near the Speedwell Forge Dam in Elizabeth Township just a few years ago. Sandy and Jerry Davis remember it well.
We feel safe. I'm not leaving.
They were some of the hundreds of people asked to leave their home out of fear the Speedwell Forge Dam wouldn't make it through the storm. The Davises decided to stay, though.
We weren't afraid because I have lived through this my whole entire life, and I have seen water that was worse than that.
Everything did turn out okay for them. Other homes, though, along Speedwell Forge Lake and Hammer Creek did experience flooding. Because of that flooding, the DEP says there was a $6 million rehabilitation project on the dam to repair the spillway. Now, people who live near that dam say they feel safer.
I'm hoping that we don't have any more problems with it, with high water.
The Davises knew at the time the Speedwell Forge Dam was considered high hazard. That's because of a state requirement.
The dam owners are required to post notices downstream of their dams to let people know that they are living in an area that could be impacted by dam failure.
The DEP says if a dam is considered high hazard, it needs to be inspected regularly.
The owners are required to inspect dams once every 3 months, plus every year have a professional engineer do a report on the inspection. And DEP also does inspections once a year on the high hazard dams.
Adams says Pennsylvania is a state with some of the most dams in the country, and that the life of a dam is about 50 years.
Our dam building years in Pennsylvania was between 1950 and 1980.
Meaning some of our state's dams are getting closer to that 50-year mark, if not older. The DEP says there is just not enough money right now to fix all of them. Adams says it's important for people who live near dams to come up with a plan, just in case something happens.
Know the risk, be aware of the dams that are around you.
Now, we tried to get a list of the high hazard dams in central Pennsylvania, but we were told we can't get or release that information for security purposes. However, we were told, the DEP did say it there in the story, if you live near a high hazard dam, the owner of that dam is supposed to post notices downstream to let you know of the hazards that you're living near. And that's really the only way at this point that you'll know that you live near one of the 800 dams that could cause, as the DEP says, a loss of life.
Hopefully folks are adhering to that guideline.
And a lot of them won't be fixed until they get the money to do so, which in the foreseeable future, not right now. And if you have a consumer story you want me to look into, you can send me a message on Facebook or shoot me an email at fox43findsout@fox43.com.
All right.